Welcome guys, this is my video of my new gaming rig. This is Blaze Tech Craze, and I'm going to be showing you this PC. So first what I want to talk about is the case, because of course that's what you house everything in. So this is the Corsair 300R. It's got your headphone out, mic in, USB 3.0, two of them, power port, hard drive reader LED, and reset switch. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's there. So at the front here we have support for what I'm guessing is a 120 and another 120 if you decide to remove these hard drive cages. But I didn't because I have mass storage hard drive, and then you probably can't see it, but there's an SSD right there in those mounts. And then we have support for two 120s or two 140s, even if you wanted to have a RAD, although I don't know if you'd do that in this case, but you can do it nonetheless. Then at the rear, I'm guessing this is a 140, correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, 140 support. And then at the bottom, we have a filter for your power supply intake. Note that I have the 600M, so it's not as big, but if you had a bigger power supply, you definitely have all filtration through there. I also did forget to mention that we have three 5 1/4 inch bays should you ever need to use an optical drive for anything. Not that I would, but I digress. So for the motherboard, we went with an Asus Z97AR. Now you might be wondering, if I just did this build fairly recently, like actually a couple days ago, why didn't I go with Skylake? Well, that's because I bought this motherboard before Skylake came out, well before. I actually got it for my birthday, as well as this RAM. And this RAM happens to be Crucial Ballistic Sports RAM, nothing special, just some basic RAM. But even if I did want to go with Skylake, it probably wouldn't make much of a difference anyway. I mean, I've seen benchmark reviews, it's not that much of an improvement over Haswell. But what is my CPU? Well, it's an i7-4790K. Now, why would I have this stock cooler here? Simply because when I was at Micro Center, I did not have enough money to get the proper cooler that I wanted. So, in the meantime, I stuck with the stock cooler. And I'm smart enough to know to not overclock with the stock cooler, obviously, because that would end pretty badly. Now this motherboard supports dual channel memory up to 32 gigabytes of RAM, running at, I think, the highest overclock speed on this board is 3000 megahertz, yeah? And then we have a full PCI Express X16 slot, and then crappy PCI slots. Nobody should ever use these. I don't know why motherboard manufacturers still put these on here, but they're there nonetheless. Two PCI 1X slots. Am I touching that? Yes. We also have an M.2 slot should you ever want to use PCI Express based storage. Pretty fast. And then two more PCI Express X16 slots in 8X mode. How could you tell? If I had enough lighting, you could see that this slot has pins from here all the way to the end, whereas these two slots have pins here all the way to here. So it's not full. And then we have your usual standard 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 expansion slots, maybe 7. I don't know. I'm not really good with counting, or am I? And then we have your I/O, pretty standard, 4 USB 3 ports, a PS2 port for mice, should you ever need to install drivers, your Intel NIC, gigabit, and then your sound I/O. Alas, the cable management of this case. I'll just go ahead and tell you right now, most of it was easy. I think the only real trouble I had was with the I/O cables. These little cables right here. Yeah, these were a pain. But, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. You have cable management loops for tie downs all over the place. I don't know if you can see them because they're being used up by the cables. But it's pretty straightforward. You could tuck down your cables, such as this 24-pin ATX cable. The I/O cables are routed from up here, which was rather inconvenient because if they were, say, right here, removed one 5 1/4 inch bay, I could have been able to easily or more easily, whatever the word is, routed the HD audio cable, if it could focus. But yeah, it was a real pain. Real pain. But nonetheless, I did it. Here's my build. Blaze Tech Craze. So the astute of you may be wondering, well, Blaze Tech Craze, why do you not have a graphics card? I'm pretty sure you're going to be gaming. Well, the answer is simple. I don't have enough money. Money is nobody's best friend, even if you're rich. But then again, I also don't quite know what graphics card I want. So, what should fill up this pretty slot right here? It needs to be filled up. Seriously. I want a graphics card. Let me know in the comments. Just so you guys know, I'm gonna game at 1440p, and I have been considering the GTX 980, and a lot of people may say that's overkill for most games, and that would be correct. But I do want to play Witcher 3, and I know that game is really hard to run amongst a few other games, but Witcher 3 is the main focus, so to speak. So yeah, if you guys know of any better card that could run Witcher 3 amongst other things, and possibly future games that will be harder to run, let me know in the comments. This is Blaze Tech Craze, and I'm signing out.